it says, people assume that some people report aliens abductions to get publicity. And then we have, it is assumed that some people report aliens abduction to get publicity. What do you think? Do you think is there any difference in the meaning? Is there any difference in the meaning? Or no?
Teacher, maybe it will be that in the second sentence that all the people believe that some people report aliens, but in the first only a group of people.
Okay, so you think that in the first one you refer to a group of people, and in the second to all the people, like this? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Anybody else?
Teacher, I think it's the same, but the one is right in a different way than the other.
It's the same, but the second is written in a different way. Okay. Anybody else? Okay, so let's see here. We are going to analyze these two sentences, okay? In the first one, we are focusing our attention on the subject. In this case, the subject of our sentence is people, okay? People is the one who does the action, right? The subject is the one who does the action or who performs the action. So in this sentence, we are saying that people assume. So people are the ones who are doing the action, right? And in the second one, as you can see, we don't have a subject. We don't have who is the person who is doing the action, or who are the people who are doing the action. Okay, we directly have the action itself. Okay, so this is the difference between these two sentences. Okay, in the first one, we are focusing our attention on the subject, and in the second one, we are focusing our attention on the action itself. Okay, so here we have an active voice, the normal sentences that we have, and we have here the passive voice. Remember, when we use a passive voice, we focus our attention on the action. Okay, we're going to check a little bit about the passive voice, and then we are going to write our sentences or say our sentences in the passive. Okay, so here we have the passive. It says, the passive voice is used when we want to emphasize the action, the verb, okay, and the object of the sentence rather than the subject. So the subject in this situation is not important. Okay, this means that the subject is either less important than the action itself, or that we don't know who or what the subject is. Okay, so that's when we use the passive voice. Let's see some examples. For example, here we have the active voice, that is the normal sentence. We have a subject, and the subject is the one who does the action, and the object is the one who receives the action, right? So this is the normal sentence, okay? And we focus our attention on the subject. For example, he opens the door, okay? So here we have subject, he, the action opens, and the door is the object, okay? So this is a normal sentence. Let's go to the passive voice. In the passive voice, all the attention is focused on the object, okay, on the person or thing who receives or who is affected by the action, okay? And at the end, we have the subject, the person who does the action, okay? We sometimes don't mention the subject because it's not important or because we don't know him or her, okay? So this is the order of the passive voice. For example, here we have the same sentence in the active voice, right? He opens the door. This is the active voice. We have the subject, we have the verb, and the object. Okay, so we are going to change this sentence to the passive. Okay, for example, we have this structure to use. Okay, so here we have the object. As you can see, we changed the position. The subject is at the end of the sentence. And when we want to mention the subject, don't forget that we need to use this word by and the subject. And the object goes at the beginning of our sentence. When we are forming the passive voice, we always need a verb to be and a verb in the past participle form. Okay? So this is the passive. How can we change this sentence to the passive voice? What can we say?
The door is opened by him.
The door, yes, we change the position. We say the door is opened, no open it, right? It's opened by him. Very simple, right? So we change the positions of the subject and the object. And of course, we need to change the verb too, because the verbs need to be with a verb to be and a verb in the past participle form. Okay? So this is the structure that we are going to use in our sentences. Okay? Let's see. Two main cases to use the passive voice. When do we use the passive voice? Here we have, when you don't know the subject at all. So we don't know who is the person who does the action, right? For example, we have Steve's wallet was stolen. Okay, so we don't know who was the person who stole Steve's wallet, right? So here we have another example. All the cookies have been eaten. Okay, so we don't know who ate the cookie. Okay, so I want you to tell me in these two sentences. For example, in the first one, what is the tense of the sentence? What are we using? We are using, of course, the passive voice, but in which tense? ¿En qué tiempo gramatical?
Pasado.
Past participle.
Past participle no sería un tiempo gramatical, ¿cierto?
No,
¿En qué tiempo?
en present, el rojo en present.
Past,
Ejemplo,
yes.
in the present simple?
En el pasado.
In the past simple,
was
right?
stolen past.
In the past simple.
Past.
Here we have the verb to be in the past simple and the verb in the past participle. Okay, so the tense of the sentence is the past simple because of the verb to be. Okay, cuando el verbo to be es el que define el tiempo gramatical de nuestra oración. Okay, porque el segundo verbo siempre. Please, your microphone, Gabriela. Because the second verb is always in the past participle. Okay, so let's see here. The second sentence, what is the tense of the second sentence?
Present perfect.
Present perfect, right? For the present perfect, we need the auxiliary verb have, and we need a verb in the past participle. Okay, so this is the verb to be in the present perfect. And the other verb needs to be in the past participle. Okay, so this is in the present perfect. Let's go to the next situation in which we need to use the passive voice. It says, when you want to give more importance to the action rather than the subject who performed the action. Okay, here we have some examples. Solar plant will be built in Gujarat. Okay, as you can see, we are not giving attention, or we are not focusing our attention on who is the person, or who are the people who are building or who will build this solar plant. Okay, our focus, our attention is on the action. And here we have the second sentence, the road is being repaired. As you can see, we don't care, we don't give importance to the person or to the people who are repairing the road. We are giving importance, we are focusing our attention on the action, okay? Now, I want you to tell me what is the tense in the first sentence here. What is the tense?
Future.
Future simple, right? So here we have the future simple of the verb to be, and the verb is in the past participle form. What about the next sentence? The road is being repaired. What is the tense here?
Present continuous.
Present continuous. We have the verb to be here in the present continuous. Okay? And the other verb is in the past participle. Okay? So as you can see, we can use any of the tenses to talk in the passive voice. Okay? Then in our lesson, we are going to use the passive voice, but we are going to use reporting clauses with the passive. Okay, ¿recuerdan que la anterior clase avanzamos reporting clauses? Les voy a mostrar los ejemplos de las reporting clauses que avanzamos la anterior clase. ¿Recuerdan que dijimos que utilizamos esto para decir o decir alguna información que otra gente piensa, okay, o que otra gente cree? So, and we use these reporting verbs, remember? And here we have some examples. In some religions, people claim there is no only one God. So this we have, here we have the examples of the reporting clauses. Now we are going to say these reporting clauses, but in the passive voice, okay? So pay attention. When we are using these clauses in the passive voice, we need to start the passive voice with it, okay? So it says, when we want to report an opinion or a belief, we use the passive voice with a reporting verb, okay? Podemos utilizar cualquiera de los verbos que les mostré anteriormente. And the personal pronoun it to introduce the report. ¿Ok? Entonces siempre debemos empezar nuestra oración o nuestro reporte con it. ¿Ok? For example, it is reported that there are more than 50,000 infected people with COVID. ¿Ok? It is reported. ¿Ok? Como pueden ver, aquí estamos utilizando it para empezar nuestro reporte y estamos utilizando la voz pasiva. ¿Ok? Como pueden ver, aquí tenemos el verbo to be en presente simple y también tenemos el verbo en la forma de past participle. It is reported that. Okay, let's go to the next sentence. It was believed that pets could infect their owners with COVID-19. Okay, so as you can see, it's exactly the same. We are starting our sentence with it, and we have the passive voice here. We have the verb to be in the past, was, and the verb to be in the past participle. It was believed. Okay, let's go to the next example. It has been claimed for a long time during medieval times that women came from the devil. Okay, so as you can see, here we have exactly the same. We have the verb to be in the present perfect, and the next verb is in the past perfect. Okay? Y todos nuestros reportes empiezan con it. Don't forget that. And as you can see, we can use different tenses to talk about this. Let me show you some other examples. Oh no, I don't have more examples. Here we have more examples here in the book, okay? So it says reporting clauses in the passive. To report a claim or opinion or belief, you can use the passive form of a reporting verb, okay? And it. Notice that the agent is often omitted and understood to be some or many people, okay? Generally, when we are doing this kind, when we are writing or we are using this kind of reporting clauses in the past, we don't need to say by people, for example. We don't need to say it is claimed by people or it is claimed by some people, okay? Because it is understood that we are talking about that, some people that believe that, okay? So here we have some examples. As you can see, we are following exactly the same structure. We start our report with it. Then we have the verb to be. Here in the present, here in the present too, here in the present perfect, and here in the past, okay? And then we have the verb in the past participle form. It is reported that a woman from Spain receives messages once a week from her dead husband. It is believed that a cow in Cambodia has cured over 100 people. It is claimed by many people, aquí sí está utilizando el agent, como pueden ver, by many people that a cow had extraordinary powers. It was once believed that the earth was flat. Okay, as you can see, we are using exactly the same structure of the passive, but we are starting our sentences, our reports with it. Okay? Is there any questions about this? Anything that you want to check? Okay, let's work with the exercises here. Rewrite the statements with a passive form of the verb and it. Okay, for example, we have exactly the same sentence from the slides. People assume that some people report aliens abduction to get publicity. Okay, as you can see, we are using the verb assume, but in the past participle. Okay, as our sentence is in the present simple here, the verb to be is in the present simple. Okay, porque nuestra oración está en el presente simple, nuestro verbo tiene que estar en el presente simple. Okay, let's do sentence number 2. People estimate that 50% of the population believes in ghosts. What can you change? How can you change this sentence, Luz Marina? What can you say?
It is estimated that 50% of the population believe in ghosts.
Okay. Don't forget that the verb needs to be written or said in the past participle form. So how can we pronounce this verb in the past participle form? How can we say this verb in the past participle form?
Estimated.
Estimated, okay? So don't forget that, the pronunciation is important. It is estimated, okay? So this is the verb, estimate, and we can say it is estimated that 50% of the population believes in ghosts. Number 2, please, Angela. What can you say about number 3? Sorry.
It has been said that the UFO, I don't know how to pronounce,
Sighting?
sightings are increasing.
Okay, so here we have the sentence in the present perfect. So we need to say it has been said. It has been said that y todo el resto de la oración, ¿cierto? Let's go with the next one, please, Carlos. What do you think about number 4?
It is believed that some people have experienced telepathy.
Okay, so the verb is in the present simple, right? So we say it is believed. It is believed. Okay, don't forget the pronunciation with the ed at the end. It's very important. Believed, experienced. Okay, let's go with number 5, please. Fabio.
Okay, teacher. It's claimed that some people can communicate with plants.
Okay, very good. It's claimed that some people can communicate with plants. Let's go with Flavia. What about you? Number 6.
It's used to say that Mars was inhabited by aliens.
Okay. What about your verb to be? What is your verb to be in this situation?
Was?
Okay. No, we don't use was here. Any other ideas, guys? So remember that you need to use used to. Used to say. Okay, so what can you say? Guys, any ideas for number 6?
Used to be.
Used to be. So, ¿cómo sería?
It used to be said.
It used to be said. It used to be said. Ok, entonces aquí tenemos el verbo to be, used to be, y el verbo en la forma de past participle, said. Ok. Let's go with number 7. Please, Emily.
Okay. It is said that many celebrities consult astrologers.
Yes, it is said. Recuerden que la pronunciación del verbo say en el pasado es said. ¿Ok? Thank you. So, very easy, right? Lo único que tienen que poner es el verbo en la forma de passive voice. ¿Ok? Any questions about this? Anything to clarify, maybe?